Hello students, welcome to Disha. We are powered by Sharachchandra IAS Academy. In the Disha program, we educate the young minds of our country about various topics, various events of national and international importance. In today's series, we'll be talking about the Assam's 700-year-old Moidams. We'll see what are these Moidams. They are to be considered for the World Heritage List, UNESCO's World Heritage List or UNESCO's list of World Heritage Sites. Okay, so Assam's Moidams. We'll see why they are in news. We'll also talk about the Ahom Kingdom in brief. Then we'll see what are Moidams and what was the purpose of building them. So let's start this news. So an advisory body to the UNESCO, that is ICOMOS, has recommended that Moidams, a mound burial system of the Ahom dynasty. So this is a burial system. What is a burial system? If somebody dies, when somebody dies, they bury him in a mound. This is a mound type structure. All right. So that is to be included in the World Heritage List according to a top archaeological survey of Indian official. All right. The 46th session of the World Heritage Committee is to be held in New Delhi from July 21st to July 31. Will examine 27 nominations. Nominations mean the naming, let's say, from across the world. Nomination basically means that we name this to become a part of the competition, including 19 cultural sites, 4 natural sites, and 2 mixed sites. Okay, of these, India's nomination is Moidams of the Assam. Moidams of the Assams for the year 2023-24 is set to be examined under the category of cultural property. Now let's see about the Ahom kingdom. Okay, because this is related to the Ahom kingdom. So what was their time, what was their duration, which were their contemporary kingdoms. Okay, so here you can see the map. This is the Kuch Behar kingdom. This is the Kuch Behar, very important kingdom. And this is right below the West Bengal and the Sikkim you can see in the present region. This is the Kachar kingdom. This is the Kachar kingdom. Very important again. Okay, here you can see the Bengal and Mughal. This was all under the Mughal Empire. This was all under the Mughal Empire. And Mughal Empire started in 1526 with the arrival of Babur. With the arrival of Babur. So we are talking about the medieval period. We are talking about the medieval period. Now you can see the Ahom kingdom here in the brown or golden. This is present day Assam, and not only Assam but most of the northeastern states. Here you can see the Arunachal, here you can see the Nagaland. Okay, then Manipur, Meghalaya, Tripura, everything you can see here. All right, Manipur was not included. Manipur has a separate kingdom here. Okay, now let's talk about this and this Jaintia kingdom. Okay, this Jaintia, Kharoga seals, these are in Meghalaya. So this was also not included. These are two separate kingdoms. But Ahom kingdom, you can see it was very big and had multiple present states under its vicinity. So Ahom kingdom was the late medieval state in the Brahmaputra valley that maintains its independence for nearly 600 years, resisting Mughal expansion in northeast India. It was founded in 1228 by Sukapha, a Thai prince from China. It started as a region based on wet rice agriculture in the upper Brahmaputra. So, wet rice agriculture is very famous in the northeast. Furthermore, the kingdom experienced significant expansion in the 16th century under Suhongmung. The kingdom fell to successive Burmese invasions. Following the First Anglo-Burmese War and the Treaty of Yandabo in 1826, the kingdom lost its control and the control passed to the British East India Company. So British were actually victorious over this kingdom. Can you figure out why Mughal Empire was not victorious, but the British were able to take the victory here? Okay, so please tell me in the comment section what could have been the reason for their victory. Was it more caliber in their army? Was it more firepower? Was it their strategic advantage? All right, or what else? Okay, next let's talk about what are Moedams. They're also famously known as the pyramids of India. Pyramids of India. So moidams are burial places for Ahom dynasty members. So this we have already read. So they have vaulted chambers. Vaulted means they are closed, often double storied. So such a mound like this mound and second mound that have an arched passage for entry. Arched means this sort of arch. You can see here also. Atop the hemispherical mud mounds, layers of bricks and earth are laid. Okay, so these mounds were constructed. They are not natural. It's not like they just found out a mound and just, dug it. They actually made it with bricks and mud. The base of the mound is reinforced by a polygonal toe wall and an arched gateway on the west. Eventually, the mound would be covered by a layer of vegetations reminiscent of group of hillocks, transforming the area into a undulating landscape. Undulating means looking like this. Looking like this. Okay. One more thing. Excavation shows each vaulted chamber has a centrally raised platform. You can see here when we go like furthermore, we have a centrally raised platform where the body was laid. Several objects used by the deceased during his life, like royal insignia, objects made of wood, ivory, or iron, gold pendants, ceramic ware, weapons, clothes, to the extent of human beings, only from the Lukakun clan, were buried with the king. So, what we are seeing here is that they have some sort of belief in the afterlife. That a person, when he goes from, let's say, this place to the another place, wherever it is, in the heaven or in the clouds, okay, he will need some sort of currency there. He will need his clothes there, or they may also believe that when the person is reborn, okay, he needs to have sort of currency or the riches or the wealth to be born as a king again. He must not remain poor just because he was not buried with enough money. Next, let's see what are the important characteristics of moidams. So they are burial mounds, this we know. So moidams are essentially large, dome-shaped burial mounds constructed to bury royal family members and high-ranking officials of the Ahom dynasty. Ahom dynasty we already know now. Now construction made of earth and stones, covering a central chamber where the body of the deceased or the dead, along with various grave goods were placed. So this shows the belief in afterlife. Okay, indicating a belief in afterlife where the deceased would need their worldly possessions after being dead. Okay, lastly we'll see what was the purpose of building moidams. So funerary practices built to honor and provide for the deceased in the afterlife, deeply rooted in the home culture and religious beliefs. Status and prestige. So this was also the reason for building of the pyramids. Demonstrated the status and prestige of the individual buried within, with size and complexity reflecting the importance of the disease. Let's say king was dead, then the burial mound would be little more complicated, little more decorated. Okay, on the bigger. Cultural identity, so established and asserted from the home ruler's cultural identity and continued through generations. And ancestral worship, this is very important. So they served as a sacred site for ritual and ceremonies to honor the ancestors, the dead or those who have already passed, as the Ahoms practiced ancestral worship. Okay, so very important belief in afterlife, ancestor worship, rituals. So these all things are very, very important when it comes to the burial mounds. So please read about them more when you get time. And they have been recommended to become a World Heritage Site also as per the UNESCO. Okay, so this is the end of the lecture. This is Yatharth signing off. If you have any comments, any feedback, or any doubt, you can let me know in the comment section. I'll be very happy to reply to that. Please watch our Saturday class as well and read the PDF which I provide on the Telegram channel. Thank you very much. Have a great day ahead and see you soon.